The chapbook is actually in two parts, and I'm going to read the second part first. And to give it some context, I should tell you that for a good period of years I facilitated in creative writing workshops in Limerick, mostly in community centres and places like that. And this was during a time before the word community education or phrase community education was even there. So it was very early days. So one of the things that we noticed at that time was that the vast majority of people who came to these workshops were women. Yes, men would arrive as well, but when they discovered they were outnumbered, they left. So they were usually left with the women. That has all been changed now, because we now have the phenomenon of men's shedding, which I think originated in Australia. So there I was at that time, thinking I could, well, I was in a group thinking that I could sleep clean. And when I was getting ready for these other workshops, I used to say to myself, here I am amongst women. And at that time, the Irish novel of that time was John McGarren's novel, Amongst Women. So I took his place. But of course the reality was that I was really amongst men. And that's the title of the second part of this chapbook. And the reason that I was amongst men is because that is the story that was coming through from these women in these workshops. And so it's a series of 15 poems altogether, but I'm going to read only 8. And there is a narrative thread that goes right through. And there is a man and there is a woman. And they're not numbered, so I'll just pause extra long when I'm going from one poem to the next. Amongst men. She mounts the stairs to the bedroom, fingers wet with holy water, blesses herself into this November night, All Souls, a day to mourn the doubt that brilliant fights and children that match are a fairy tale, the Houdini between her legs, about to slip her cups, toss to the moon her rosaries, her careful calendar of exits, those nights she sleeps alone, prays in damp underwear for forbearance to a crucifix, moist from her lips. After she found his stiff stop, disgusting pig, their sometimes bedroom began to smell only of his midnight groan, a sound that called to her through the walls, clear as her name, and her name was alone, and at times Jezebel, and like today, the veil thinned to the waft of ghosts, not the dead, but the dream of herself alive somewhere under the day in, day out of chicken stew and in-laws, present now in the slow stroke of her second finger, right hand. Their marriage bed for once, a place of no tomorrow, no tale of crow's feet, no tale of a daughter's first blood or a son's first grunt, only the hunger for herself as prayer, essence again before matter, like the child before the mother and father, stardust spirit, to die and to live again in a world she now knows is hard as a heart. She hears his footfall drunk on the stairs. Fuck him. Let him find her lenses. Let him. Let the child of their night be the wild one. Why weren't you more fucking careful? Didn't you know it wasn't safe, like? Are you sure? Like maybe there's a mistake. I mean, you're not getting any younger, you know. Things change, don't they? A mistake. I mean to say, there are things women can do, like another fucking mouth to feed. Things, you know, women can do. It's hard for her to remember him young, to remember any of them. All hot hands, come with me. When he asked to walk her home, she liked his green eyes. He'll do. The radio was playing down by the Sally Gardens, and all the boys from her parish were taking the boat. Cold shovel on the table, last night's beating. She clasps her fingers around her stomach. There, she says, feels it kick. Its first kick followed the first blow. She'd held her stomach like a run with washing from the line when rain comes. The spit of his words on her face. It isn't fucking mine. His heat more present to her than the warm dark of their bed. The initial move, always his fingers on her breast, face cocked back as though the boat was a tune from her. She trails her hand over her greying hair, recalls his eyes, the young man is still there. The June air is lupin blue. Her fingers flutter as she knits by the open window, arms propped on her pregnant belly. This low, it will be another boy, her fourth, like her own mother. Sleeves to the elbows, plucking a hen, her sons hungry from the fields. A day like this. The hill acre raked, and the hayrines golden domes above stone walls, losing the heat of the day in corn creeks widen. Just now, she forgets she was born in that place, forgets she will die in another. The car smells secure, vinyl and woodbines, a glove for the Muhammad Ali in him. He speeds through the moonless night, his mouth dry, jaw clenched. He wants to race through the plains of Kildare, evaporate into the broad back of the country, but the road refuses to change. Hedges rise around him, everywhere hedges. In the darkness at the edge of some small town, he sees again the baby's face, wrinkled as a pup's, the scar of its closed eyes, sealed as death. He trembled when he asked to walk her home, trembled when she said yes, trembles now. He thrusts the fork into the holding soggy earth, rams her down the ball of his foot, turns the weedy sod, its brown belly like the promise in a skirt's lining. Blisters form on his burning hands. He spits on his palms, rubs them together, crushes the well-worn cunt of the handle, and that bitch of an April sun dazzling him. It's hard for him to remember her young. Those dresses she wore to the dance, in a suitcase now beneath the bed, like they'll still fit her. And that scent in her hair, all part of the travel. What's Johnny out today? Buddy Ryan and Joe. The Sunday, they all cycled the Turles for the match. to be amongst men. And the other poems, then they make up 6, and they follow they all come under the heading of, let's say, father. But I am using that as a way of looking at other things. Only one of the poems in the collection is actually autobiographical, and that's the one I'm going to read first. The Untimely Death of My Mother's Hens. Nothing is remarkable now that my father wears a yellow slub silk lampshade over his head. He says, I'll never again go west of the Shannon. He has just buried our mother there with her people, like a parcel returned to the post office, no longer with this address. I thought she was on the road to recovery. She bought a dozen brown hens. I remember them only this morning. It is easy to deal with the dead ones, rigid, puffed bodies. I fork one, then another into the bushes. The living stagger in daylight. They coo like a mother's lullaby, feathers fanned, frozen in the act of ruffling. Their beaks remain open long after they quieten, eyelids shutter, slow as an eclipse. Some totter towards me, others stumble away. The double-looped fringe sways to my father's breath, a moustache of thoughts. I believe he can hear me, but I can't be certain. I ask, is it hot under that? He says, switch off them lights, mind the bill we are. The last poem I'm going to read, the title is The Shoes He Makes For Me. And this poem is about the fact that I have never been able to wear women's shoes. I mean women's fashion shoes, high heels. I spent my teenage years and 20s listening to my friends saying, come on Breda, talk about the power, sexuality, put it out there. And I really just could never do it. And so this poem was a long time coming, and I'm glad that I was a mature person when I eventually got to write a poem about women's shoes, or rather about how I feel about women's shoes. The shoes he makes for me. He starts with my still warm hymen, eases his fingernails under the membrane, peels it like you peel protest from a tongue, lays the crescent-shaped pink flesh flat on the table, slowly quietens it with pinch by grainy pinch of salt to absorb water from the words. Vowels shrivel, consonants choke. He pegs out the skin to dry on the front lawn, scrapes the surface with a blade, shaves off any morphemes that linger, on especially. Neighbours watch, but none see. God bless the one there, Timmy. The hide is ready on day 28, the day he and I unusually played tag. I wonder about the mud, a mystery, until I see him measure my leggy strides, regular as stitches through the orchard's path. Unwilling to appear ungrateful, I am unforthcoming when I wear the red shoes. The left, a round-toed, flat lacer. The right, a killer heel.